Hi, this is Matt Bradley-Tschirgi, author of books like... Hi, this is Matt Bradley-Tschirgi, author of books like Star Trek video games and Eddie Murphy, the films that Eddie Murphy, um, and a video game book I can't talk about right now, but I am just for fun streaming an old James Bond game for DOS, License to Kill, based off the second and last of the Timothy Dalton Bond movies. Wish he would have had they made GoldenEye sooner, I bet he would have done it. And, you know, there's other scripts developed, but that's a whole kind of movie discussion. And I haven't played too much of this before, but it looks like it's kind of like a shmup. You're in a helicopter, and whether all the stages are like that, I don't know. I bet I can't even get past stage 1, but we'll see. Give it a shot. 89, yeah, so it came out same year as the movie. So let's go. There we go. It says Bond. Did the James Bond music in the theme song, as you could hear. How's the volume? If it sounds too soft, let me know. No music as you're playing. It's PC speaker, right? So it's kind of ugly sounds. It's, you know, this was not a huge budget game. If you like what you see, please give me a follow. Would appreciate it. Damn it. Yeah, try not to crash the helicopter into the buildings, Mr. Bond. What was my... And if you have any questions, you know, feel free in the chat to ask about, you know, James Bond movies or games or whatever, and I will try and answer within reason. It's not one hit and you're dead, that's nice, but it's, you know, not too far away from one hit and you're dead. So... I am not, but it shows body damage on that, right? As you're getting hit, so that's cool. That's a nice attention to detail. Does anything about this scream James Bond, other than the License to Kill logo, so far not, and the music at the beginning, not really, but there's some stuff on this UI here that's impressive. Notice you have the kind of the map of where you are in the level on the right. Like that's something. It's better than nothing. So, and damn it. Up and down adjust like your speed. Of course, I'm slamming into that big old building there, dude. Yeah. Nope, don't want to do that. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. You know, there's not... These are static graphics on the bottom, except for the bullets on top. But you have some dithering here. These look like EGA graphics to my eyes. So I believe that's right. And again, you're supposed to not... telling the difference between stuff that shoots at you and stuff that doesn't. These buildings look kind of nondescript, but you can see it's a certain kind of ones that you can and can't. So part of it is memorization, right, with these old games. And I'm saying this is someone that's not great at games like this. And I can see, oh, I didn't even make the top 10. I mean, this is a song from one of the James Bond movies, and it's been a really long time. I mean, I can't place what Bond music movie the music is from, but interesting nonetheless. I mean, yeah, a lot of James Bond games. Some are unauthorized, some are. I think this is a pretty cool area of games that could be ripe for exploration. Hint, hint. Hint, hint. Nudge, nudge. I think a reason for that is we had a trailer that dropped recently for a new James Bond game called I don't have the title in front of me. Damn it! It's like light something, not light fire, but you know, something along those lines. Really not showing myself as a James Bond expert here, but point being, you know, the rumor goes with the new James Bond movies is they will be. I mean, there's some facts and rumors. We can talk about those, but with James Bond, you have the Broccoli estate has been in charge of the franchise for a long time, and Sony's been doing the movies and a collaboration with MGM, blah blah blah. And now, you know, Amazon has bought MGM, and they do all the movies. So they get to do what they want with James Bond, and because the Broccolis were taking too long to pick a new James Bond to develop a story, and they didn't get along with the Amazon Prime people. Where the Amazon Prime people were saying, well, I don't think James Bond is a good guy, which is a hell of a thing to state. But I think the point being with James Bond, you're going to get like Moneypenny, the TV series. The only thing Amazon's done with it is a reality show. which looked very expensive but wasn't that great, about people doing, kind of, I need to pay more attention to the game instead of talking, doing kind of spy sort of activities here. Notice how this doesn't, give you any plot of the movie, right? You're just kind of put right into it. The title screen had some fun stuff going on. This is not a great game, I have to say. The controls are a bit loose. It's not like it's stuttering, so at least there's that, but still, it's just... Damn it. Yeah, let's keep on going. Pay attention to focus. Let's get past level 1. Let's try and do that, can we? So why don't we see if there's any... There could be some introductory text to the game. I have no idea. Let's see. So, I mean, this here is a still from the movie of a stunt where James Bond is leaping from an exploding trunk off a biplane, or maybe vice versa. License to Kill is more action-oriented, primarily takes place in Florida. As far as the James Bond stuff goes, not directly based off one of the books, though. I mean, really none of them take that much from the book, except for Much Worth Love, maybe, and Honor Majesty's Secret Service, which probably has the best plotting. And I mean, this is really, we just see the credits of high scores, right? I think this has 4 different levels total, but the level's really hard, so we'll see where we get. It's kind of, a lot of these old movie games are kind of like, each level is a different genre, and, kind of, not quite a mini game. It's not like WarioWare, but it's not too different either. So, there you go. Looks like I'm peeking a little bit. Let me put this down. Okay, great. I'm enjoying some Whaler's Rum. It's not too bad. And also look at these, it has like 2 designers. Its official thing, it says copyright 1989 Dan Jack, which is was the production company at the time that the Broccoli's had. That's a combination of, I think, the last names of their parents or first names, something like that. And you're in the helicopter right away. And we want to, these little house things shoot at you. Okay, great. And I don't know how to shoot, so can I explode this thing? No, I can't. But then how do I shoot sideways? I have no idea. Just have to avoid these things, I guess. Oh, shit. Go right into that thing. Well, we're surviving a little bit. In the bonus stuff, I'm not sure what calculates that either. So that's interesting. You have score, you have bonus, you have lives next to the helicopter, if we're talking about the user interface. You don't know why these guys are shooting at you. It gives. I mean, this is very much like when they talk about arcade-style gameplay, they're not kidding with this, right? I thought so. Sometimes those trucks can shoot at you, sometimes they can't. How do I? So again, I mean, you think when I'd get right on it, it would kill me, but instead, if you hit the middle of the building roof, and most annoying of all, which is very common in these arcade games, is you get shellacked at the beginning, right? Not shellacked, you start over at the beginning. We get to see how Matt isn't good at action games, but that's the story of my life, that's fine. Damn it. But I just ran into a tree? What the hell was that? The Bond animated logo there, that was kind of cool. So we have all this stuff. Got the little animated fire loop going when you get the buildings. So I'm not great at these shoot-'em-up games, but I do remember, especially I watched some people play this in Tokyo in arcades extensively, now 19 years ago at this point. In like June 2006, when I went with some friends, that's a story in itself. Is just focus on your guy, right? In this case, the helicopter. And all the other stuff, kind of only pay attention to it if it gets near your thing, because you're trying not to get hit, ultimately. And it sounds kind of obvious, but they have, these games basically are trying to trick... Damn it! These games are trying to trick you. They're trying to distract you, right? Let's see if I can get to the last place on the leaderboard. That'd be something. Small goals. Um, maybe the 4 doesn't mean lives. I have no idea. Damn it. No, it does, because it went down to 4, down to 3. Ah. That displays, a map is pretty impressive on that right there. You wouldn't expect that from this kind of game. But also part of them doing that stuff on the site is trickery, so it doesn't have to render as many graphics for the main game, so that it can go at a better frame rate and run in more computers, essentially. Because even for when this came out, this would not have looked state of the art. This would have looked okay. Um, I think the helicopter looks good. I can't say the same of those the graphics of the building stuff on the ground. That's pretty rudimentary. The bullets look uninspired. Damn it! Getting a little bit there. Let's keep on going. The longest 11 minutes of my life playing this thing. All right. What's my favorite James Bond movie? I think what I like about the James Bond series is, well, unless you count, kind of the Daniel Craig ones, is they're basically one-off movies, kind of like a one-off comic, right? You don't need to know a whole. You can kind of go in, get out, get a story. It might make references to other stuff, but you're not going to be lost if you haven't seen another one of the movies. So, with all that in mind, we have all this James Bond stuff, and if I was going to favorite movie, I'd like to do it by different actors. Sean Connery used to be Goldfinger. I almost said Goldenfinger. Excuse me. I crashed into the. It's just embarrassing. Goldfinger, I think, is a good film. They used to be my favorites of the Connerys, but as I get older, I really appreciate From Russia with Love. It's more of a slow burn. And you got these like character moments and the train, the fighting, the enclosed spaces is always a good thing for suspense. Um, so that's what you do with James Bond stuff. But I think some favorite of that. Lazenby only did On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and It's a Crime. We never got that done with good old Sean Connery, right? That would have been something. Come on. What else here? I'm getting further than I have before. Oh, I'm going to make this mistake again. Try not to die. Roger Moore. I am a sucker for Man with the Golden Gun. And I admit that Man with the Golden... Shit. Man with the Golden... Shit, not... Man with the Golden Gun is not a great movie. But I just love Christopher Lee and with him and Hervé Villechaize in the film. It's just a fun, kind of campy example in Bond on an island with a guy that's kind of his evil mirror, which they do with other characters in other movies. It I think the casting in that just works well, and I like how it's an uneasy mix of kind of Sean Connery Bond-isms and Roger Moore Bond stuff, right? They haven't quite figured out who the Roger Moore Bond persona is, and so it's both less comedic and I don't know if I'd say less, and I think it makes it more interesting because it's a bit of a jumbled experience. Yeah, I can't recommend this game based on what I've played of it so far. I think this will be a short stream. I'm not patient, and I'm going to go to a wedding pretty soon. But we can... it's interesting trying to memorize these levels, and... Damn it! That might be a piece of music from On Her Majesty's Secret Service or something. Sounds like kind of a romantic thing. It's definitely adapted from the John Barry stuff for sure. Although John Barry didn't do music for License to Kill, the last Bond film he did music for is the one before this, The Living Daylights. Let's go again. And as a level design thing, look at the beginning, right? The truck just shoots you with bullets immediately. It's telling you, I'm a hard game. We're not going to ease you into it. It doesn't have tutorial. None of these games, nearly none of these games back then had tutorials. I hate to say absolutes like none or some or what have you, because it is just... So why did the score not go up when I killed that thing? Damn it. Okay. If I just dodge the bullets, will I do better? Let's try a pacifist run, I suppose. See how that goes. But the bullets, I mean, I'd say, yeah, this is a fair amount of challenge here. That your thing doesn't die in one hit is kind of notable. A lot of games back then, if you got hit once, you die. This one you get like 4 hits, I think. That it shows the damage on the helicopter is cool. Come on, dude. Yeah. Stop shooting at me. Ah! It keeps scrolling, right? It auto-scrolls. And we can see another ship or something. See that? Because we're at the bottom, I think. Hey, ay, ay. Yeah, that did not work. Stop it. No, stupid tree. Okay, I mean, I think part of the challenge with this is like scale and stuff, and you can't tell what you can dip into and what you can't. Like, if I hit these bushes, will I die? No. If it was like a tree that, looks smaller than the bushes, so it's a sense of scale, right? And it can make it feel unfair if it's not logical. It's not like space and these are asteroids, right? Where you can see, oh, clearly I'm not supposed to fly into that. That you can control the speed by moving up and down gives you a bit of tactical advantage. Not that I'm doing especially well here. So, let's keep on going. Oh, damn it. Okay. Damn it. I almost got to Secret Agent scores. License to Kill, that's the British spelling. Original title of the movie was License Revoked, but then they did some test screenings and American audiences thought it was about a driver's license. And License to Kill is a cool title, I have to admit. The title song for this movie I could live without. Oh yeah, it was ranking the James Bond stuff before, right? So yeah, Man with the Golden Gun is probably my favorite Roger Moore. I haven't seen some of the other ones in a long, long time. Live and Let Die also. I guess I like the older Roger Moore stuff where it's kind of messy. Part Connery, part not, where he's kind of mean, but not really. Not as like goofy as he tends to be. Timothy Dalton, although License to Kill has really good bad guys, right? You have Robert DeVee and Benicio del Toro playing these Latino gangsters. I would say that The Living Daylights, I think, is a better film. I think the romance in that film works better. And you have some interesting set piece. And I mean, it's right from the Living Daylights story, but like Bond is told to assassinate a woman, and he pauses, and he doesn't. And I think that's such a good hook to kind of hook viewers in and let them know this is going to be a bit different. And Timothy Dalton was a really good actor as Bond. I think he just didn't get great material to work with. The Living Daylights is pretty convoluted, and then on the flip side, License to Kill is just so generic, dude, right? It's just not really 450 points. Heaven to Betsy, yes. License to Kill just feels like Die Hard or something, right? It's just so generic. I'm going to make high score at 500 points. Pierce Brosnan. I mean, GoldenEye was such a high mark for his movies that it was really hard to... Damn it. Well, I got further than I had before. That's something. Ugh. Start you from the damn beginning. You're going to memorize these things, gosh darn it. What else with Mr. James Bond? Pierce Brosnan, yeah, that's right. Tomorrow Never Dies, I think, has the plot with China taking over Hong Kong, or reclaiming Hong Kong after British loses control of it, or not British, England, right? Is a good hook, and Michelle Yeoh is cool in it. But what is not so cool is the pacing, I think, with the Pierce Brosnan stuff, other than GoldenEye, it's a bit like a Shaggy Dog thing. It's not great. Oh, no. I can't just type it in, can I? No. AAA. Well, we at least did something. Okay, start over at the damn beginning. I can do another 10 minutes this. I thought this was going to be more entertaining. I was just going in cold. Silly me, silly me. So yeah, that's the thing about the Pierce Brosnan one. So I'd say GoldenEye is by far the best of those. Although I have a soft spot for Tomorrow Never Dies. And Pierce Brosnan, as far as Bond goes, was a good blend, I think, between Sean Connery and Roger Moore. After that, you had Daniel Craig, and it was longer gaps between those movies. I think partially because Daniel Craig was getting a bigger film career at that point, and he had more clout. And also, they tried to do an overarching story to those movies, which I think worked. Daniel Craig is, I think, a really good actor, and I think that Casino Royale and Skyfall, I think those are really good movies. I think I prefer Skyfall to Casino Royale, actually. Um, they're all a bit long, but so be it. But Spectre and especially No Time to Die, I really did not care for. I think it was more like Daniel Craig did one more James Bond because he's gunning for the Oscar, and that James Bond is blonde always threw me off about Daniel Craig. It it's tricky, right? In those plots where you try to tie things all together, and it was like, oh, this guy has the master plan all along. You get like Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker, had the same problem there. So it's like, what do you do with all this James Bond stuff? I mean, if everyone's related to each other or whatever, it takes the stakes out. It makes the characters less dangerous. It feels a bit too coincidental, a bit soap opera-ish, a bit too cheesy. Like it worked with. I'll give you the example with the Star Wars because I like those examples. And I have 2 Star Wars tattoos. But regardless, with those things, in Empire Strikes Back, the famous sequence, Luke, I am your father. Okay, that's great. Good twist. Shocked audiences. But if you proceed to make it where, Bob's your uncle and Boba Fett's your mother and whatever, it becomes kind of a spoof of itself, and 2, it's just not a good time, man. It just makes it really frustrating. Notice you don't get a sense of like how far in the level you're going, just that it's going up. So it'd be nice if you say like, oh, you're 30% through the level when you die or something. Sometimes arcade games, like Operation Wolf, would do something like that, and that at least gave you as a player an idea. Oh, if I play a little bit more, I can get this much further. Or like in Castlevania, you see the map right as you go through the levels, and you're like, oh man, I'm almost. I just want to explore a few more rooms. It's something to keep the player going as opposed to I'd call this game like rudimentary in every sense of the word. I would call it bad. I would say it's not unplayable, but it's also not. I can't imagine someone, spending. I bet this cost like $30 or $40 at the time, putting this in and being like, "Oh, this is a really good James Bond game," right? I think they're like, "Oh, this is okay." On sale, they might be like, "Oh, not bad," but this is, kind of. And frankly, most video games based on movies were like this. This kind of middle of the road, milquetoast kind of experiences. Shit. But you get to 500 points. Also, when your ship gets hit, it doesn't do a sound effect. It should do that, maybe shake the screen, make it a bit more obvious what's going on. I'm trying to read the map too. The map is too busy, so it's not as useful as it could be, and it's not like there's stealth, at least not yet, I guess. There's not stealth ships or anything, so. Or it's not like Wing Commander where you need to have that kind of pseudo 360 view of what's going on. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, the all-time secret agents at the top is 007, at the bottom is 001. That's a cute touch. Let's go one more time for the Gipper. So Daniel Craig, Skyfall I liked. I mean, I do, despite what it may seem of me complaining right now, The James Bond series I really do enjoy, uh, but what do you do with it? I mean, they've been going on for over 50 years, so it's like, how do you do all of this? How do you keep the legacy going? What should they do with the new James Bond movie? That'd be good to talk about. I hope they don't go too young. I think Daniel Craig looked older than he was when he made those movies, and they can't. I think it'd be a mistake to like start with his James Bond's first mission. They are working on developing a story and bringing on potential directors before announcing any casting of who the new James Bond is. Whenever they do that, it's a big to-do. I think a unknown for Bond would be pretty cool. Whether they do that, I have no idea. So we'll just have to see. Um, there's been rumors that they might, or some people have been pitching a period piece set in the 60s. You could limit the gadgets, not have cell phones and stuff, I think. But you've already done that with the past movies too, and the James Bond movies, like the Godzilla movies, reflect the time in which they're made. So what do you do with all that? You know, I thought the ship looked damaged as it did, but it doesn't. It just has holes in it. I mean, these PC speaker sound effects are like right out of Atari. They're not great. Even seeing little, I mean, I like that there's stick figure dudes on the bottom, right? But you're not. The game doesn't do much with them. Yeah, so I can't. Let's look here. What's the next ship? Damn it! Focus. Can we get past level 1? Apparently not. We can't even last like 1 minute. If there was a health bar, I think that'd be useful, right? It does show on the right the picture of the helicopter. It shows flashing how you've been damaged. So that's something. At 450 points. Okay. Getting some reflexes going. That's promising. Why put the enemy there if I can't hit him? I guess just to troll players, or unless there's a control thing I'm missing, which is quite possible. I don't even... This is so frustrating. Like, I don't even really know what is being done on this map. Oh, I think I got further than I have before. I'm going slow. I think... Damn it! No! Crashed into it backwards. Should this have been a flight sim, like, you know, there's like a first-person cockpit view thing? I don't know. I think the controls for that kind of stuff demands more skill of the player, that it's an arcade-style game, makes it more approachable. But that being said, yeah, that you fire up a James Bond game, and like I'm firing at dudes at huts I can't even see, and I don't know why I'm shooting at them. We're going to get a high score again, that's something, but yeah, it is not great. Come on. Yes. Yes, 900. Oh, baby. And then there's a dude on the right. This is the dude shit. That's the dude I can't do. AAA, 900. Let's do one more. I bet we can beat 1,000 points. But yeah, that's possible. This James Bond arrangement isn't bad. Of course, it's tough to think of the most, you know, iconic music theme ever. Shit. Should pay attention more. So the new James Bond game is Lightfire, I believe, and it is by the people that did... It's been in the works for a while. It's by the people that did the Hitman games. So I'm presuming more stealth scenarios, which makes sense for James Bond. It's not. I mean, there's been a lot of the games are first-person shooter, more action, but a game with notable stealth mechanics that isn't a bad idea. And in that game, which is an original story, not based on the movies, he looks pretty young. He looks, you know, I'd say he almost looks in his late 20s, early 30s. Oddly enough, George Lazenby was in his like 29 or something when he was Bond. Although I don't think it really looks like it, but Lazenby too, like tanned a lot, smoked a lot, drank a lot. Like it was a different time in the 60s and 70s and so forth. People lived a lot harder, and I think it showed on their face. Like they also made them age quicker. And we're not even talking about plastic surgery or anything. I think just you look at a 40-year-old movie star, to say nothing of a regular person, um, in the 50s, and you compare it to, or in the 60s, right? And then you compare it to now, and it's like a quite notable how different it all looks. So I am not a big fan of this License to Kill game, but if I get better, maybe I'll stream it again. And I might need to for some stuff. We'll have to see. But I think it's a good stopping point. Hope you liked me streaming this License to Kill James Bond game. If you like what you see, give me a follow, subscribe, all those verbs and stuff, and tell your friends about me. And I'll catch you next time I'm on. And I should probably schedule something next time to get more people to show up in the chat. All right, thanks. Bye.